Oh, I just don't even want to do this. This game has a way of making you just not want to play it. This is 80% difficulty. This shouldn't even be that hard. That's what I'm talking about. Can't tell if that AI just ran into the back of me or if the back end just... Oh, I don't want to do this. I just don't want to do this. I'm starting to question if this is even worth it. Now people are setting off fireworks outside. I'm not going to be able to record, am I? Well, I guess that'll be it for today. I'll record again tomorrow and hopefully things go better. Hello guys, and welcome to the Road to Number 1 Project Cars Episode 2. So today I'm going to be using the Ford Mustang Trans Am car again, because it's actually one of my favorite cars in this game right now. I love the way it drives, I love the way it handles when the physics in the game are working right anyways. And we're going to be driving it around Zolder today. 9 laps, should make about a 15-minute race. Got it up against 23 opponent cars. I did 23. That wasn't the max that I could do, but I did 23 because that's what my computer likes. If I go too high, it starts to kind of chug a little bit, and I didn't want to deal with that. So 23 opponents. This is actually my third attempt recording this. The first 2 attempts didn't turn out so well. The first attempt, I finished the race, but I only finished in like 21st out of 24. The audio quality was really bad. It just wasn't great, and I decided to do it again. Second time, I couldn't finish the race. ProjectCARS was just being ProjectCARS, and I couldn't deal with it. So today, I decided to try it again, and this morning, spoiler alert, it worked. I finally finished the race. Got a decent position. Not the best I could have done, but decent position, especially for doing commentary the whole time. But the problem is, I didn't turn on my mic. Let's start. So here we are in the race. Just kind of getting ready, waiting for the lights here. I'm thinking to myself, if I can just get a good position off of these first couple laps when everything's all backed up and congested, I can really set myself up for the rest of the race. Decided to take the inside line. Never a really great idea on this track. This turn is a really difficult one to get properly at the best of times. But I decided to go for it, and it paid off. I got 2 positions out of it. You can see me starting to lose the back end of the car a little bit. That's because I was recording this first thing in the morning, and all the warming up I had done the previous day had kind of worn off. I had actually done a lot of warming up for this race because I didn't want it to be like the last one, where I had done like 7 or 8 attempts before I finally got it to work. And it did help. I knew the track a lot better. I knew what I was doing, braking zones, turning points, all of it. It worked out a lot more smoothly. I just had different issues this time around, the audio being one of them. So you can see I'm in 20th position right now. I'm on the back of these guys. I'm trying to find a way past them. Not really getting any good opportunities right now. I know I'm usually a little faster through here, so I might kind of stick my nose up in here, but I think he's going to close me off. Yeah, there he does. Kind of run into the back of him because still warming up again today. Hadn't had any practice this morning. But overall, doing pretty well. Getting a little backed up in here because the field is still pretty tight. There's not a lot of spread going on. This guy just gives me a free position. You'd be amazed how many times the AI in this game just gives you a free position because they drive off into the grass on their own. The AI is one of the biggest problems I have with this game. I'm not really going to talk about it very much because you can kind of see it in the video. Like right here, the AI just shoves me wide. They didn't have an opening, but they just made one for themselves. But I keep driving. It doesn't really bother me that much, especially after yesterday's races. Right through here, I'm usually a little iffy on the brakes. I can get it done in time, but it never feels like I'm doing it right. Like, I feel like I can always be faster through there on the brakes for that chicane. Over that hill is going to be an issue a little later on. You'll be able to see. It's kind of difficult to get that hill right, just getting the throttle at just the right point so that you don't lose traction. It's a pretty hard area to drive. I really love this track overall. I hadn't actually known about this track for very long, but when I was introduced to it, I think I was originally introduced to it in Need for Speed Shift 2, if I'm not misremembering that. I think this track was in that game. I hadn't really noticed it very much in that game, but when I played this game and I tried the track, I nearly immediately fell in love with it. It's a great track. You can see another AI there just giving me a position because they ran off onto the grass. I don't know why they do that so much on this track, but they do that a lot on this track. This turn's another one of my weak points, turn 1. I just have a hard time judging the mix of braking and acceleration through there right, and coasting. It's a really hard turn to get right. If you've learned the track and you know that turn well, you've done a lot of laps around here. I've not done a ton of laps. I've probably done around 50 or 60 in my time playing this game. Not too many, but I know the track well enough now. You can see me kind of catching up to the back of this group. I'm up into 18th now. Doing a pretty decent job keeping up. I locked up the brakes there. You couldn't... you might have been able to tell. I did lock up the brakes there. That's why I pushed him wide, and he just kind of came back over the gravel to take the place back. This is actually one of my favorite spots to try and do an overtake around the outside of this hairpin. It doesn't look like it would be an easy place to do an overtake, but against the AI, for some reason it is. It's like they don't like to run into you around the hairpin. They'll run into you anywhere else, but not around the outside of the hairpin for some reason. And spoiler alert again, I kind of wind up taking advantage of that later on. But you can see I made a couple more positions through there. I think one of them just gave me the position again. Way too easy as far as that's concerned, but doing it while commentating is incredibly difficult. If I knew I wasn't going to be live commentating for this video, I would have just driven and I probably could have got a better position than I wind up with. But it all kind of worked out how it did, and I'm here now. You can see me coming up on this chicane again. Again, not really certain quite where to brake or turn. I just can't seem to get that chicane down. I can always get the car around it just fine, but it's never fast. And I know it's not fast. This chicane's another one I have trouble with. That's actually one of the best times I take the chicane in this race. It wasn't a bad chicane, but again, it wasn't a fast chicane. I know I can do a lot better around here. That's why I'm trying to learn this. Again, I'm catching up to the back of this group. See another one just driving on the grass, giving me a free position. They just really like doing that for some reason. And I've noticed that they kind of run into each other just as much as they run into the player. I don't know why, but that's what they do, so I take advantage of it. You can see me trying to take this guy on the inside here. I do manage to get ahead of him here, but he just gets me right back on the braking. Again, not very good around turn 1. Turn 2 I'm a little better on, but not very much better. I'm still really slow around it. I generally get them on the exit of this turn. Very fast exit, but right here, this braking zone, kind of kills that for me. I do take that turn really well one time in this race, if I remember right, but I don't think anyone was around me at the time that I did it. This chicane, it doesn't look like it in the video, but this chicane is incredibly hard to get through without spinning the car. If you're on the throttle just a little too much, you'll spin, and there's nothing you can do about it. ProjectCARS just being ProjectCARS, when the cars start to spin, that's kind of it. This is just a really nice complex of turns right through here. I don't know why, but it all just flows together really nicely, and I just love the way that it all works out. You can see car on the grass again. This guy stops for me. It actually winds up giving me 2 positions out of it. Thank you, guys. I will take those positions without question. Those last 2 turns, I can't tell if I'm slow through there or not. I feel like I probably am, but I'm better around there than I am around most of the track. So I kind of feel like I'm fast through there, even though I'm pretty sure I'm not. Now I'm trying to defend against this guy behind me. He really wants to get back past for some reason. And not for some reason, because he's programmed to get back past. He's not going to be able to. I'm just trying to catch up to these guys in front now. A decent turn through there. Not my best, but that one was pretty okay. These guys, I'm on lap 6. I feel like I can probably get them both before lap 9, but that next group, if you can see them on the map, that next group is pretty far ahead of them, and I'm not really feeling like I can catch up to them by lap 9. But yeah, definitely looking for these 2 before lap 9. I think I can do it, but just gonna need to really push to get up to them. I think when I was actually doing the recording originally and I was live commentating over it, what was I about to say? Yeah, it doesn't matter, I forget. But yeah, catching back up to these guys. Yeah, I'm not slow around this track, but I know I'm not as fast as I could be. The AI is only on 80% difficulty, so I theoretically should be faster than this, but I'm just not. You can see a pretty good slide going on there. I'm amazed that the car didn't just lose it completely through there. That was one of the most controlled slides I had done in this game, and it had set me off for that next corner. I wound up being wide the whole way through. This time, though, because I was wide, I wound up actually getting a lot of speed off of the turn, and I had caught right back up to these guys, kind of where I was. Catching back up, trying to get the chicane right again. Again, not so good. But lap 7, 13th position, just trying everything I know how to do to catch up to these guys so that I can get back, or so I can get past them. This guy makes a mistake right there. I don't know what triggered that mistake, but he made a mistake and that put me right on the back of him, and I'm going to take advantage of that. This right here, this move, this is one of my favorite moves I have ever pulled off in this game, around the outside of that hairpin. That was just such a clean move, and I am proud of that one. Then it put me right on the back of this guy, so I wound up not only passing that guy, but getting enough speed off of the turn to catch up to this guy. Then of course just throwing it all the way around the last turn. Lap 8 now, I'm catching up. I've moved up to position 12. I know I can get 11 before the end of the race, but it's looking like that's about all I can get before the end of the race. I'm trying to think what I can do to catch up to this guy and pass him quickly so that I have a chance at getting up to the next group. But being that you can't even really see the next group on screen right now, except for maybe a little bit right there, you can start to see them. It's not looking good for anything higher than an 11th place right now. See me just really kind of getting right up to this guy. Trying everything I can. Just pushing as hard as I can to catch back up. Push a little too hard. I actually nudge him forward. And then I mess up his line. He goes over the grass. The guy behind me catches back up. That put all of us even farther back from that group in front and pretty much solidified that I'm not going to be able to get higher than 11th here. But here we go, trying to take him around the inside of the chicane. He drives into me, just puts himself off the track, and that's the end of his race. So I'm into 11th, coming on to lap 9. And lap 9 is actually going to be my best lap of the race. So I'm just gonna let you guys listen to the car and watch the lap. Alright, and there you have it. 11th place. Not a bad last lap either. I got a 135. That's actually going to be pretty good. You're going to find out in a little bit. I've already seen the time trials leaderboards for the next event. But that's not going to be a bad position if I can match that in the leaderboards. I'm hoping I can. I'm hoping I can get better than that. But we'll see. And I guess that'll be it. We'll move on to the time trials and see how I do there. Alright, so I decided before I start the time trial itself I'd go into the leaderboards just to see my competition. And thinking back on that 35 that I got during the race, if I can get that again, I should be able to take 8th place away. This field is a little more full than the other one. There are actually 2 pages of results, the lowest one being a 149. I'm not going to bother showing that off right now because this is really where I'm aiming, this 37 to 31 zone. I think if I improve, I can get into the 34s, but I think that 35 was a pretty good lap, and generally that'll be what I'm aiming for, a 35. Hopefully I can get a low 35. But the plan for this is, unlike last time, I'm not going to just do clip after clip after clip of me crashing, because I didn't really think that was as funny as I wanted it to be. So I'm probably just going to show off a couple of my fast laps. If I only get one good lap, I'll show the good lap, and then I'll just end it there. But hopefully I'll have a couple good laps to show off. And maybe if there's a good crash, I'll show that, but I probably won't bother because you've likely seen enough of that. Alright, so let's get into the race itself. And there it is, guys, second place, a 132.523. I did not expect that. I was expecting a 136, to be honest. I didn't even think I would get that 135 that I got in the race. I tend to do that when I'm doing races. I actually get better laps in a race than I'll get in hot lapping sessions. But that was not the case at all this time. I got lap after lap after lap, just improving each time. I did not expect it to go as smoothly as it did. I did have a couple spins, a couple issues with track limits, but not anything like at Cadwell Park. This track was so much nicer to work with. It all just came together so well. All the practice really helped overall. It all just came together. I did not expect second in the world on this. But in any case, second is what I got, and I'm glad that I got it. I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I wanted to say Happy Independence Day to all the Americans watching. I hope you guys enjoy your day. I'm Stormy. I'll see you later.